Welcome to Innovations and Breakthroughs with your host, Rich Goldstein, talking about the evolutionary, the revolutionary, the inspiration and the perspiration, and those aha moments that change everything. And now, here's your host, Rich Goldstein.
Rich Goldstein here, host of the Innovations and Breakthroughs podcast, where I feature top leaders and the path they took to create change. Past guests include Rick Cesari, Kevin King, and Joe Polish. This episode is brought to you by my company, Goldstein Patent Law, where we help you to protect your ideas and products. We've advised and obtained patents for thousands of companies over the past 26 years. So if you're a company that has software, a product, or a design you want protected, go to goldsteinpatentlaw.com, where there are amazing free resources for learning about the patent process. And you can email my team at welcome@goldsteinpc.com to explore if it's a match to work together. You could also check out the book I wrote for the American Bar Association that explains in plain English how patents work. It's called the ABA Consumer Guide to Obtaining a Patent. I have here today Nathan Hirsch. Nathan is a serial entrepreneur and an expert in remote hiring and e-commerce. At one point, he had more than 500,000 products for sale on Amazon that he was selling for more than 1,000 different drop shippers. I mean, wow, talk about logistics. Nathan co-founded FreeUp.com in 2015 with an initial investment of $5,000. But he scaled it to $12 million in revenue, and then it was acquired in 2019. Recently, he co-founded Outsource School, where he teaches people how to outsource like a pro and create more freedom in their lives. I'm excited to watch him now grow this company. And I'm really honored, truly honored to welcome here my friend, Nathan Hirsch. Welcome, Nate.
Rich, thanks for having me. It's been quite a year. We were just talking about not being able to see each other in person, and we run into each other at conferences all the time, I feel like.
I know. I feel like I used to see you like every week. I mean, in some random city, but I used to see you all the time.
Right.
And it's been too long. And it's so funny. I just noticed what I did is I went through your profile. I went through the introduction where I was referring to you as Nathan, and then just naturally I said, hey, Nate.
It's funny that one of the biggest mistakes I feel like I did with my brand is I didn't decide one or the other early on.
Right.
My fiance always calls me Nathan. Most people I know call me Nate. So I was always kind of caught in between, and I personally just don't care either way. So feel free to call me either one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So let's see, but you started out in college, or you started out with entrepreneurship in college. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I always had these summer jobs, winter jobs kind of going into college. My parents made me work 40, 50 hours a week during every summer, winter vacation, and worked at Firestone, errands. I was a head umpire for my town for a while, and I learned just a lot about business, about managing people and sales. And I also learned what it was like to have a boss and got a sneak peek of what life was like after college. And I really just wanted no part of it. So when I got to college, I started hustling and buying and selling people's textbooks, competing with my school bookstore. I created an affiliate program, people referring people to me. I had lines out the door of people trying to sell me their books. And then my college sent me a cease and desist letter telling me to stop competing with them. And my parents were teachers, so that letter scared me a little bit. I didn't want to get kicked out of school. So
you didn't want to get sent to the principal's office.
Exactly. So I pivoted and I sold some of these books on Amazon. So I had an Amazon account and I started experimenting. And this was 2008, 2009, before the courses and the gurus and the Facebook groups and the software. Like none of that existed. It was just me coming across this at the time, a gold mine of Amazon getting into different products besides books, because before that they were just a bookstore. So I did a lot of trial and error, probably spent a good 6 months to a year just throwing stuff on Amazon. Some stuff would sell, some stuff wouldn't, but there was no consistency there. Until one day I came across this deal on baby products and listed some baby products. They sold right away, listed more, they sold. I thought I was onto something. And I started reaching out to manufacturers and building relationships with them. They didn't know what e-commerce was. I didn't have my own baby product line or anything. So we worked together, drop shipping baby products, and I built it from there.
Wow. That's really cool. And so you did a lot of e-commerce though, like you grew into selling many products, say 500,000 products at one point.
Yeah, a lot of products. And then that's how I learned how to hire and build systems because there was very little Amazon software back then. So a ton of just manual work done by virtual assistants. But yeah, we sold over somewhere between 25 and $30 million over the 5 to 6.5 years that I sold on Amazon.
Got it. And so, is that where you gained your experience in outsourcing? Is through all those VAs necessary to manage that level or that quantity of product listings?
Yeah, and I feel like you kind of take some of the stuff you learn from past businesses and apply them to new ones. So when I first started with Portlight, which is my Amazon business, I had no idea how to hire. I was a 20-year-old college kid. I hired my friends. They were not reliable, and other college students, besides one who's my business partner to this day, Connor Gillivan. I tried hiring adults, paying them $50,000 a year in the US, and they didn't take me seriously as a 20-year-old. So out of necessity, because I had this growing Amazon business, I had to hire people. And a buddy of mine told me about VAs. I hired my first VA. She was a rock star. I got super lucky there. Chicky Ann, she's been with me for 8+ years. And made some bad hires after that. And but I kind of saw the writing on the wall that if I could master hiring virtual assistants and master hiring systems and processes for them, that was my key to growing my business and future businesses. Because before that, it was me doing everything. It was me having unreliable talent and turnover. And so I kind of set out to crack the VA code, so to speak, which is the name of one of our hiring processes. And once I figured it out, that's when I was able to scale the Amazon business.
Awesome. And then so naturally, since you were able to do this so successfully for yourself, you started helping other people to create their own outsourced solution. So just tell us a little bit about FreeUp and what you created over there.
Yeah, so a lot of different factors going on. I mean, we were getting up to over $5 million a year. Amazon got more competitive. Amazon's algorithms started to change. They start to crack down on drop shipping in general. So we were still making money, but we weren't doubling every year. We were kind of stuck in that 1 to 3, some good, some bad. At the same time, we weren't selling our own product. We weren't building our own brand. We were completely dependent on Amazon. So we kind of just felt like we were going in circles, and I wasn't passionate about selling baby products back then. I'm still not passionate about selling baby products now. So that business got old, even though it was making money. And on the flip side, we had these VAs and freelancers, and over the years, we had built this Rolodex of really reliable talent we could go to, but we didn't need them all full time. We had busy season. Right before busy season, we'd hire people to redo the listings and graphics, and during busy season, we need extra customer service reps, and then come January, we didn't need them as much. So we started reaching out to other Amazon sellers and saying, hey, we have this reliable Rolodex of VAs. What if we offered them to you? And we had started to get sick of the Upwork and the Fivers of the world. It just took too long to post a job and get a lot of people. So we had this idea of a pre-vetted marketplace. We actually looked for one, but we couldn't find it. So we said, why don't we build it ourselves? And a great starting point was talking to other Amazon sellers because we knew the lingo, we knew the language, and offering VAs and freelancers that we had. So FreeUp really started with a really crummy software that did very little, that recorded time, and Amazon sellers emailing me, Skyping me, texting me saying, hey, I need a graphic designer, I need a writer, I need an Amazon list or whatever it is. We'd match them up. We quickly ran out of VAs. We had to start recruiting, and that's how FreeUp got off the ground.
Yeah, that's awesome. And one of my favorite things about FreeUp is that you had 3 E's in the name. So FreeUp. And I guess the reason you couldn't have it with 2 E's was because Verizon owned that domain, even though they never used it for anything, right?
Yeah, I think the domain's still blank. I haven't checked in a while, but Verizon owned it. We reached out to them. We never really heard back. We tried a few different brokers. We had the 3rd E in there. We said it was the E for e-commerce because that made sense. We were going after e-commerce sellers, although by year 3 and 4, we were working with a lot of marketing people and real estate agents and all of that. And the new owners, the people that bought FreeUp last year, they actually dropped the E, but changed it from .com to .net. So right now it's FreeUp.net. And I think they are trying to get it from Verizon. I have no idea how that's going.
Right. And though the funny thing is like, so you have this kind of what might seem like a handicap from the beginning, like where it's like, oh man, we can't get the domain name. We have to work around, but it really didn't hold you back. I mean, you still brought the company to 12 million sales. I think there's a great lesson there just in terms of like whatever you perceive as an obstacle, it's just a state of mind. I mean, it didn't hold you back from having a very successful company.
Yeah, I'm curious. Maybe we would have done better with a better SEO domain name. Maybe it helped us because a lot of people remember the third E and it kind of stood out and everyone thought it was a little quirky. I have no idea.
Right. Maybe if you only had two E's, people would have expected the service to be free. And then when they found out there was a cost, they would have been like, oh, this is, that's not cool. So
Right,
with
exactly.
three E, I don't know, just making it up as I go along. But anyway, I think that's really cool. So you had a dream of acquiring that domain name eventually, and now, it's not, like the company was acquired, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Right, exactly.
I love that. So okay, cool, and so now you've kind of gone from having this kind of matching service, if you will, to teaching people about outsourcing. So so you created Outsource School.
Yeah. So, I mean, when we sold FreeUp, there was a transition period and now it was towards the end of last year. So we had the holidays, we took a little bit of time off and then the conversation became with me and my business partner, are we sick of each other? Do we want to do something else together? And once he decided he wasn't sick of me and I wasn't sick of him, we decided to do research and we started reading books on real estate and seeing what there was a market for. And people started reaching out to us, asking us if we could teach them our systems, our processes, because you have to remember, we scaled FreeUp to 8 figures with no office, no US employees. It was me, my business partner, 35 remote virtual assistants in the Philippines. We didn't have an office there. We've only been to the Philippines one time on more of a vacation than anything else. So it's not like we were going back and forth. Right. And these VAs were doing very high level stuff. They weren't just doing data entry work. They were doing sales calls. They were doing customer service. They were billing clients $200,000 a week and processing refunds and paying freelancers. So we're talking very high level stuff. So we set out to launch Outsource School. Just because we sold the company doesn't mean every idea we come up with going forward is going to be a good one. So we didn't really know what to expect. We mapped out our hiring process that we call IOTM, which is IOTM, interviewing, onboarding, training, and managing, giving people our exact process, everything from the exact interview questions we ask to our meeting templates, to our bonus and raise programs, to our firing cheat sheets, everything in there. And we launched it on the week that coronavirus hit America, which was bad timing, but people ended up buying it. The reviews were really, really good. And we wanted to build it out to be more than that. So now it's a full-on academy where members get access to our hiring process, which allows them to hire rock stars quickly whenever they want to. They save time with our SOPs and templates and cheat sheets that are pre-made, ready to go. They can plug into their business. And we release new trainings every single month where they get to learn how to build different roles and different teams inside their business, whether it's lead generation, customer service, sales virtual assistants, and people can pick and choose which makes sense for them. We have an awesome VA support team that onboards people and picks out a roadmap and holds people accountable to what they're doing. But we've really created this awesome community where people are able to save money, get their time back, grow their business using all the same systems that we have been using for the past 4 years and that we're using at Outsource School. And we share with people the hires that we're making as we're growing it. So they get to see us build a business with VAs while they're implementing our trainings.
Got it. So they get to basically get a backstage seat to watching you grow the company as well using the same principles.
Yeah, that's an added bonus, but specifically they get our systems, processes, software, and all that.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's pretty awesome. First of all, I just want to wind it back a bit to what you were saying. So you and your partner got to really choose working together again. A lot of times, I guess we take for granted, like, okay, this is my partner, and this is who I'm working with, or these are the people on my team, and that's how it is. But you guys got to actually decide again, like, hey, like, let's do another project together, which I think is really cool to get to choose from not being forced to, you know what I mean, or being the default. So
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I mean, we've been working together for a while, so there's obviously a trust factor there. I trust him with my social security number and vice versa. We have the same values. We want the same things. We believe in treating people well, both on the customer side, the internal side at FreeUp, the VAs and the freelancer side. We believe in other things like honoring our word. And if we make a mistake, which we all do, we take responsibility for it. We make it right. But we have very opposite skill sets, and we both hate doing what the other person likes doing, which makes business a lot of fun. I mean, he doesn't want to be out there doing podcasts, and I don't want to be doing what he's doing, managing our dev team, doing a lot of the back end stuff and all that. So we have different skill sets. We've worked together on multiple businesses now, same values, same core beliefs. And to me, that's what it looks like for. That's what I look for in a business partner. And I've also learned throughout the years, because we had some other business partners that we ended civilly with, but we really realized that 3 is just way too many for the types of businesses that we run. Not for everyone, just more of our style. So us working together seems to work out very well.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, I think finding someone who has the same values, but yet has complementary skill set is just an awesome combination to have. And, so it's interesting. So you finished up though with FreeUp, and you jumped right into this. Like, it really wasn't a big time in between. Like, you didn't have to. You did, I'm sure you did okay with the exit. That's, and the point is, like, you didn't have to jump right into a new business, but you just couldn't stay away, could you? You just have entrepreneurialism in your blood.
Yeah, I mean, we sold it in November. We
Right.
launched we launched Outsource School in March. So there was a little bit of time there.
A few months.
A few months. And the other thing is, when we start businesses, we don't like map out this huge business plan and like, this is what it's going to become. Like, when we went to Amazon, we listed some products on Amazon, see what worked, listed more. With FreeUp, we found some Amazon sellers. We offered them our VAs. When that worked, we added more. And very similar with Outsource School. We spent some time creating our first program, cracking the VA code, IOTM. We launched it. When people liked it, we created another training. When people liked that, we created another training. So it wasn't like, oh my God, we're like diving in. And my life's obviously a lot more relaxed now than it was during the FreeUp days.
Right.
But it kind of built up over time.
Yeah, no, that's pretty awesome. So now, like, let's just talk a little bit about outsourcing and some of the things that you've learned, and of course some of the things that people would learn if they came to Outsource School. So, like, what are I know that a lot of people, when they think about hiring VAs, when they think about doing something to alleviate their own schedule, like, one of the most common things they think is like, I don't know how I could delegate this stuff. Only I know how to do it. So, like, what do you say to them about how to get started or how to get out of that mindset of like, I'm the only one who can do this stuff?
Yeah, well, Alex Sharfin has a great quote. He says, if you think you're the only person in your business that can do what you do, I have news for you. You're not that special. And I always thought that was a great quote. I mean, it's just the honesty sometimes. And we're not really big into the whole mentality behind it, although we do help members get over the jump if they want to, or if they need that. But like, your business just can't scale without help. Like, there's very few $5 million a year solo entrepreneurs out there. It doesn't really exist. So you've put a ceiling on your business right away if you're not willing to hire. And hiring is one of the most important things that you can do. I mean, there's plenty of great entrepreneurs that don't know how to run Facebook ads. They don't know the latest like tactic. They don't know all the terms of service of Amazon, but they're very successful because they know how to hire the right people. If you know how to hire, everything else in business becomes way, way easier. So we get people in that mentality, but then more importantly, we get them to follow IOTM. So for interviewing, we get them to focus on not just experience, but also attitude and communication and culture. For onboarding, we get them to focus on setting expectations and what those expectations should be across the board. And we kind of lay that out. For training, we get them to focus on standard operating procedures. We have a software called Simply SOP that makes it very easy for people to create and share SOPs. And we include that in the membership, along with giving people our SOPs that saves them time. And then with managing, we show them how to run efficient meetings, how to create bonus and raise programs that keep people accountable and motivated, how to create that culture and maintain it, how to handle issues and fire VAs. So every single VA issue, good or bad, we've seen before, and we give people step by step exactly what to do. And if you can tell by the way I talk, everything we do is fast, quick, and efficient. And that's how we want to teach people to run businesses, so they spend as little time as possible working on the hiring process and managing people while still getting the most out of it.
Got it. Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Something I've wondered about outsourcing too is that when you have a group of people working together on a team, often culture is a huge part of what makes a company work, what makes a team work together. When you have an outsourced team, how does culture work, or what role does it play?
I mean, culture is huge. I didn't believe it at first, to be honest. My business partner, Connor, he's a culture nut, so to speak. And it took me years to kind of accept that he was 100% right and I was 100% wrong. But culture is a delicate thing. I mean, it comes down to three parts. You have to know what your culture is, and you should spend time with your leadership team, your business partner, whoever it is, mapping it out, because my culture might be slightly different than yours and other people listening. We need to find people that fit your culture to the T, because it's almost impossible to take someone who wants a different culture or their mentality is different and tweak them into your culture. So you got to find those right people, and then you got to maintain that culture afterwards. And we have culture meetings once a month. We have what we call our BARF method, which is a funny acronym, but it gets people to buy in, show appreciation, build relationships, create family, and not being afraid to call people out in a professional way when they're not matching that culture, and be able to take a step back, reset expectations, and show across your team that you don't care how good someone's performance is. If they're not a good culture fit, they cannot stay in your company.
Right. So don't be afraid to barf.
Exactly.
One thing I'm wondering too is interesting is like like your initial businesses were very much about products, right? And the last few businesses are all about relationships. So it's like, and in particular, relationships with entrepreneurs is what you're creating. So, I mean, tell me about the value of that to you. Like, what's important to you about working with entrepreneurs and cultivating relationships with entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple sides of it. First of all, personally, I prefer B2B instead of B2C. I mean, I didn't know that until I did B2C for 6 years, but me pushing products it wasn't fulfilling. I just didn't have a why. It was fun. I learned a lot. It was my first entrepreneurial adventure, but I didn't see myself doing it for the next 30 years. And then second, I look at it as an opportunity to give back. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm very lucky. Like, did I work really hard? Of course. But breaks go your way. You get in at a good time. Like I got in Amazon. I was lucky enough to have parents that are supportive and that are still alive and healthy and taught me right from wrong at a young age. So there's lots of things that I am fortunate enough in life. And I want to be able to give that back to other people. So whether it's other entrepreneurs who are pursuing their dream, their passion, whether it's freelancers and virtual assistants that are either on my internal team or were part of the FreeUp marketplace while I was there, and we paid out millions and millions of dollars to them, and they were showing us their houses and their cars and stuff they were able to buy with that money, to even Outsource School. We donate 3% of all sales to our favorite charity, Teach for the Philippines, as a way to stay involved in the VA community, while also helping entrepreneurs at the same time. I mean, I always remember what it was like when I couldn't hire. It was incredibly frustrating. You want to do a lot of things as a business owner. When you can't hire, it limits you. So I want to provide other people quick access that I wish I had back in the day, showing people how to do it so they can pursue what their dream is in life. Because no one wakes up saying my dream is to manage 10 people, but being able to manage 10 people is going to get you to whatever your dream is.
Right. Absolutely. I think that's, it's really awesome because it is one of the unexpected skills that make the biggest difference. I mean, it's unexpected to entrepreneurs that's the skill that makes the difference for success. I mean, all the entrepreneurs I know that have done very well, it was because they created the team to help them scale, to help them turn it into something. And that's, again, one of the least expected parts of the entrepreneur journey.
Right.
So if people want to learn more about you or get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do so?
Yeah, go to outsourceschool.com. You can grab a free trial. You can set up a call with one of my rockstar virtual assistants, see what talking to a rockstar VA is like, see if Outsource School is a good fit, answer any of your questions. And if you're interested, we'd love to have you in our community. It's growing. People are loving it. You can check out our reviews all over the internet. And yeah, it's an exciting time for us. So we'd love for listeners to check it out.
Awesome. Nate, I really appreciate you stopping by and visiting the show and sharing some of your experience here. And I'm excited to see what Outsource School grows to. And in addition to, I personally want to check it out because this is something that matters a lot to my business is learning how to scale and learning how to hire, really. So thank you again for being here, and hopefully we'll get to see each other at an event soon.
At some point, 2025.
I said soon-ish. So yeah, I guess so. Thanks, Nate.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to Innovations and Breakthroughs with your host, Rich Goldstein. Be sure to click subscribe, check us out on the web at innovationsandbreakthroughs.com, and we'll see you next time.